Well, good morning, YouTubers. Is it the 7th or it's the 8th today, isn't it, Brian? It's the 8th, I think. I haven't looked. Oh, sorry, it's the 7th. And we're back down the allotment, just putting in some homemade compost, trying to fill up these beds a bit, because there's no spare soil here anywhere. So we're just filling these beds up a little bit. It's quite a mild day. Yeah, it's the foxes, they dig holes, but I don't mind that because they look after the rat problem that we have here, so I don't mind the foxes. They can do what they like, basically, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, to a certain extent, I don't want them digging up everything, but no, we have a fox that sleeps on top of these strawberries, and that's fine, you know, I don't mind that. So there we are. It's amazing how much these raised beds take. That's the whole 3 bags gone in there, but we've got plenty more, so we need to fill this one up a bit. So he's just going to mix it all through and leave it till spring. Good stuff. Black gold, isn't it, Brian? Black gold.
Yep.
Lovely stuff. Bye for now. Hi there, YouTubers. 7th of January. I'm going to be planting, well, not planting, but germinating parsnip tender and true. Because I believe that it takes a long time for them to germinate, a month, apparently. So all the seeds are going in there. And if they don't, if some of them don't germinate, it's not going to be too much of a problem. Sorry. Space them out a little bit. There we are. And with the lid on, that'll keep the moisture in. And I'll take the lid off every few days and just check them. So that's all that can be done with the parsnips. And it says to sow them in February, but if I sowed them, a lot of them wouldn't come up and I might have problems with them. So I've taken advice and done it this way. Bye for now. And I just forgot to mention that once they've germinated, all the germinated ones will be put into toilet roll, and then they'll just be planted straight into the ground without disturbing the roots or anything, because they don't like their roots to be disturbed. So that's the game plan. Bye for now. Good morning, YouTubers. Today is the 8th of January, and I've been sowing quite a bit of seeds, but I'm going to be sowing some more now, my tomato seeds, so I'll let you know what I'm sowing. First one is Gardener's Delight, which everybody knows, as Samuel the gardener said. Samuel the pot gardener, he said, oh, they're just bog standard tomatoes, so I'm going to sow some bog standard tomatoes. You never get many seeds in the tomato packets, so I just tend to sow them all because they're cheap enough to buy, and you can save seeds from your tomato plants anyway, and it just ensures that you get at least a few that will come up, because they won't all come up, but most of them will. Next one is the Money Maker, which is another bog standard seed, so I'm just sprinkling those on. Oh, I've got quite a lot more seeds in that one. Oh well. Just separate them out a bit. I'm hoping that you can see this all right. Then next one I've got is called, it's called Fairline and F1. Fairline F1. I've never grown it before. I just picked it up the packet in the B&Q, I think it was. I just picked up the packet. Let me just check and see if you're seeing this okay. Yeah. As I say, I just picked it up from B&Q. Like to look at the picture, and they looked okay, and there's only a few of these because they're an F1 variety, so I can space them out a little bit more. But again, you only get a few seeds, so I'll just choose, you know, when they come up, I'll just choose the strongest of the plants, because I only want like a couple of plants of each. But better to be safe than sorry in gardening, you know, because you just can never tell what's going to happen with your seeds. Right, so the next one is a Sweet William F1 variety. It's a cherry tomato, Sweet William F1 variety. Get 20 seeds in here, so I'm sowing the lot. I've marked out every tomato I'm putting in because I tend to forget what I've planted and then have to racks my brain to remember. So I thought, well, I'll be on the safe side and put, oh my goodness, you only get a few in here. Of course, oh, they're tiny, tiny, tiny seeds, smallest seeds I've ever seen in a tomato. Of course, they're a cherry tomato, so they would be small. I'm trying not to mix them because I don't want to mix the varieties up. So trying to sow them in a straight line so I don't get the varieties mixed up. And the other thing I did with this soil, it's just normal multi-purpose soil, but I sieved it very finely. Yeah, I sieved it very finely, so it should be good. Now I've lost a packet of seeds. Oh, what a stupid woman I am. What did I do with them? How can you lose a packet of seeds? How on earth can you lose a packet of seeds? I'll switch you off just now till I find them. Sorry about that, folks. It was right in front of my nose. This variety is a patio variety for putting in pots on the patio, and it's called Mini Bell. So a tiny little tomato, so that would be nice. I'll have a go with that. And these are all the type that you have to pinch out the side shoots, cordyline I think they call it. Oh, that's a lot of seeds. Oh, I'm not going to sow all them. There's loads of seeds in there. I'll keep some. Let's put them in there. And that should be enough of that variety. Yeah, like I say, I sieved this soil, this compost, very finely, and it just helps the tomatoes come through without too much problems. Now I'll fill that, not fill it, I'll cover it and I'll water it, and then I'll just go and get the other tomato varieties that I've sown to show you. I'll be back in one jiffy. Sorry about that, folks. Rather than disturb the tomatoes, I'll just tell you what they were. They're both bush tomatoes, so you don't pinch out the side shoots, easier to grow. One's called, one was called, I've forgotten. I've just been through there. Totem, and the other one we have no idea what it is. It was seeds that I sowed. It was a plant that I had last year, and I saved the seeds from it, but forgot to get the name of it. In fact, I don't think the name was ever on it. So anyway, so what I do here is now I spray it with water, and the reason I'm spraying it is because I don't want the seeds to move, and then in future I shall water it from below, so that'll save the seeds from moving. Just give it a light spraying just now, and whoops, put a lid on it, and that will go in a warm place, probably on a windowsill somewhere, until I get the temperatures in the polytunnel sorted. At the moment, the temperatures in the polytunnel at night is about 15, which is a little bit chilly for the tomatoes, so I'm not going to risk putting them out there. I'll wait until till they get the temperatures properly sorted, because it could get colder, and I don't want the plants to suffer, because they'll die. Because tomatoes are very, very tender. So anyway, that's the sowing of the tomatoes, and then once they're about maybe 2 inches high, well, when they start getting their second leaves, their true leaves, then I will pot them up individually into small pots. I'll just get a pot and show you what I plant them up into. It'll be that size a pot, which is like very small, and then they'll be planted again into bigger pots, and then into the final pots, the pots that they'll grow in, because last year I grew the tomatoes and they were great, but they were done in the grow bags, and I don't really like the grow bags, because you couldn't, once they were there, you couldn't sort of move them, and as you know, you're in gardening, you're always bringing in new stuff and moving things around in your polytunnels or your greenhouses. So I'm going to put them in pots this year, and I've got all the pots for them, so I'm all set for that. Okay, so that's all for now, and I'll be back soon. Bye.